There's good, better, and best, and those first two are fine.
But Thor Schrock is going for best. He's been there before, but he needs your help to make it happen again.
And he's here to compute this. Good morning, Thor. How are you doing this day?
Hi,
Morning,
Thor.
guys. How are you doing?
Good to see you. Good, better, best. And you guys have been the best for a long time, right?
Yeah, well, you know, Best of Omaha voting is almost over with. So, I mean, you've got until, I think, what, the 31st of August to place your votes at bestofomaha.com. And so, I guess, you know, one of the things, I was reading a book a while ago, and it was a guy, Tip O'Neill from the 80s. He was a politician.
Of course.
Yeah, like Reagan's, like, you know, the anti-Reagan or whatever.
They were famous the way
But,
they worked together.
You know, he always said when he was running for office for the first time, he was mowing this lady's lawn every day. He never asked for money. He would mowed her lawn every week for months and months and years, all through his childhood. And then he was running for office, and he just assumed she was going to vote for him. And she looked at him, she goes, "Why would I vote for you?" And he was like, "But I mowed your lawn for years." She goes, "You've never asked for my vote." And so lesson one of politics,
Right.
ask for the vote.
For the vote.
That's funny. And so that's what you're doing
That's what we're
today.
doing.
You're
is
asking for votes.
for the vote.
So Best of Omaha. You've won this award before, though.
We've won the Best of Omaha award for computer repair many years in a row, so we do pretty well with that. You know, and I tell my guys love the awards. They love winning the awards, and I always tell them, you know, keep calm because these awards are markers for work you've done in the past. They're not markers for how good you are in the future. You still have to decide that. If you, this is how your customers that you treated over the last year felt about how you treated them. So that's really great news, you know, if you get really well. But there are other categories that Schrock does that we don't talk a whole lot about on like the Morning Blend or the radio shows because they're not really consumer categories, but like website design, hosting, those are on the Best of Omaha, and Schrock does that stuff. And it's kind of funny because the computer guys are like, yeah. We got it, you know, and then the poor web guys in the corner are like,
We'll get
maybe
there.
next year, you know.
Well, here we are at that maybe next year point, but you said voting is starting to wind down a little bit. We are getting closer to the deadline, so how can our viewers cast their votes for Schrock Innovations?
Absolutely. You can go to bestofomaha.com. You can also go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. There's a quick vote code there you can use. But if you go to bestofomaha.com, you sign up. By the way, you see these Apple Watches here.
Yeah.
If you've always wanted an Apple Watch but never got one, you can actually win one just for voting. So now you have to vote in so many categories. You can't just go vote for Schrock. You have to vote for, I think, 14 different categories. But, you know, and they're randomized, so I can't even tell you, go to page 4, you know, because the questions are all randomized. But you can vote for your best companies for restaurants or, you know, computer repair or dry cleaning or any number of other things you can vote for. And let those businesses know that they're doing a great job. Because whenever someone feels that we didn't do a good job, we hear about it. It's not so often we hear, and we do. But it's not so often that when you do a great job that people just come back and say, you know, you did a great job.
Yeah, but I think just my own philosophy on it, it's even more important to say job well done than it is to like complain or what. I feel like that's more valuable in a lot of ways, especially for the people who are doing the work.
Have I ever told you, Mary, that you and Mike do an amazing job on this program every day?
Thank you so
Just
much,
amazing.
Nobody's
Thor.
ever said that, Thor. Thank you.
By the way,
You're the first.
there's not
Is that the Best of Omaha, like
there's
best
not
TV
a
station?
best live local 1-hour TV show because we're your only option,
the only
everybody.
You're the Best of Omaha.
We're the best and the worst all at the same time.
Depends on the day.
It does, right. Any computer viruses out there we need to be alert of right now?
All right, well, let me tell you a funny story. I covered this one on the radio show. So there's a company that helps law enforcement find the physical locations for IP addresses. So when you get scammed on the internet, you get the IP address of the guy who scammed you, and you give it to the FBI. They track it down to a physical location, and this company maps those IP addresses. 8 out of 10 times, they do a perfect job. And police can serve warrants, you know, bust raids, find lost children, the whole bit. 2 out of 10 times, the company has no idea where it is, so they assign it a catch-all address. And the catch-all address just so happens to be smack dab in the middle of Kansas, the farmhouse of an 82-year-old couple. This 82-year-old couple, for the last 10 years, has had people coming to them, the police showing up thinking that they were spamming people, that they were online criminals, that they were child, killers. They literally combed their property looking for dead bodies numerous times. Oh, yeah.
For 10 years?
For 10 years this went on. And the couple had no idea why. They're 82 years old. They don't know
They don't
anything
know
about
what's
IP.
going
Do they
on.
have an
addresses.
IP address assigned to their home?
I mean,
Do
they
have
must
this?
No,
have
they
known.
didn't. They didn't.
Oh, they didn't?
They're in a rural area. They didn't even have internet.
Oh,
And so
wow.
it was one of those
Oh,
like,
my
you think the
gosh.
police and the federal agencies would figure it out, but that just tells you how many federal agencies there are.
Well, and it goes to show you that as awesome as technology is,
Yep.
it's not perfect.
So the company, of course, MaxMind now says that we didn't mean for this to be like identifying individual locations. That's why you sell it to the right. And so they've moved that default point to the middle of a body of water. So that will hopefully not help. And the couple in Kansas are suing for an outrageous. I mean, Mike, if somebody prank called you, if the FBI prank called you every day for 10 years, and you had to answer the phone because it was the FBI, for 10 years,
Yeah.
what would you sue for?
A lot of money.
This couple is suing for $75,000.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Wow. Well,
That's $7,500 a year for the inconvenience of having been
police
accused
officers-
of heinous crimes, having your property combed.
And we had callers calling in like, what I would do is I would go out if I had a garden and I would just turn over like a couple shovelfuls of dirt, and then the police would come and then they'd just till the whole thing up for me. It's like, that's kind of morbid, sir, but
I
thanks
guess
for the
if
call.
you're-
Have a
if
great
you're-
day.
You're looking at your garden, you could. Listen, Thor is point here is he understands and has his finger on the pulse of everything that's happening across the country. He does a great job with his Facebook page of updating. Anytime you see stuff about hacks and breaches and all of this, he puts it out there so you have a better idea about what you can do to keep your information safe. But he does all that just because he's a good guy. But if you ever need him for anything, we'll send you to one of the service centers. And in the meantime, vote for Best of Omaha. When you're looking at that ballot and you see Schrock Innovations there for any category, we hope you'll give them a thumbs
give them a
up.
shot at web design, too. Those web designers at Schrock Innovations need the love, don't they?
Alfonso is at the hospital with his wife who is having contractions.
Ah, good luck, Alfonso.
Alfonso's not even
and
thinking about
family.
Best of Omaha right now. He's the head of my web design team. So.
He's got a
Fantastic.
baby coming.
That's right.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Thor.
Thor.
Thanks,
Good to see you.
Now, the start of the new school year doesn't mean putting a stop to family fun.
Next, go wild with a free kids pass to our zoo, where you can get yours online.